Football Terrace, Man United, Aston Villa this evening. Kickoff in an hour and a half's time. And Man United have the opportunity to go joint top of the lead. And it will be an astronomical turnaround from where things began at the beginning of the season. It gives Man United a huge impetus. It gives Manchester United the ability to really push themselves on, if they can, to that next level and hopefully instill a little bit more confidence. It'll be the third time in just 2 weeks that United have been presented with opportunities to leapfrog opponents, create gaps between the majority of their top four rivals, and catch up further each time with Liverpool Football Club. And we've been very damning of Manchester United, very damning of Man United in the last 2 years of not seizing these types of opportunities. But against Sheffield United, against Wolverhampton Wanderers, the last-minute goal from Marcus Rashford. By the way, we haven't spoke about this. The record now sits with Rashford for the most amount of goals won in the 90th minute. So basically, Fergie time sits with Marcus Rashford, pure clutch. And tonight, this opportunity again presents itself to Man United. A tough game, I will add, against the Brummy boys, Aston Villa. Of course, Jack Grealish, some would say auditioning in some respects for a role at Manchester United. And I want to share something with you. This is something that I've created myself, pure factual, though, in relation to Man United's points per games at Manchester United. Let's take a little look here at this. I'm going to click on this here. But this season, Man United are orange and Liverpool are in blue. I'm not too sure why I picked those colors. But look from the start of the season until where we find ourselves tonight. A win tonight for Manchester United will equal Liverpool's points per game total so far this season. And it just goes to show the growth of Manchester United that cannot be denied. And also the sort of flatline trajectory of Liverpool. And what's really significant is the two big dipping points. Manchester United's, barring the opening day of the season where they're on zero because they had lost their game, the next lowest position is just here that you see me highlighting, which was just after we were tanked in our third game by Tottenham. And our points per game was 1. You know, we had 3 points in 3 games. It was awful and it was atrocious. You look at Liverpool's first dip. They won their opening 3 games and then they were panned here by Aston Villa. Since that point, there has been there's been no growth. In fact, there has been more regression from Liverpool. They have pretty much flatlined, but they find themselves just behind that point. So from their match day 4 until match day 16, which is 12 games, there has been regression. There has been a regression in Liverpool, where from Man United's most embarrassing moment under Ole, there has been growth. There was a dip. You can see here draws against Chelsea and a defeat against Arsenal had people worrying. Since that point, it's been nothing but growth. Man United's growth this season is at 5%. Liverpool's regression since this game against Villa is at -2%. This trajectory is something that Liverpool need to stop and Manchester United need to continue. This is nothing but facts. This is not fiction. This is a true reality. And for people that say stats don't matter, the team that has the most points per game by the end of the season wins. And but the reason this is worth focusing isn't about just points per game, because what a lot of people do is they go, well, Man United's points per game is 15 divided by 30. That's it. And then they try and time that by the remaining games. That doesn't work. That isn't a true science, because you have to take into consideration the trajectory. Because if Man United's performances continue to improve, even by a 2%, 3% margin every 5 games, your points per game ratio is going to increase, meaning you can discount the poor start to the season. Equally, if Liverpool keeps regressing by a percentage here, a percentage there, they're going to end up with less points than if you were to times their current points per games total by the remaining games. This is as close to an exact science as you can get in relation to predicting what's going on. It tells you teams that need to change their form or teams that need to try and continue in the trajectory that they're on. So for me, it's really interesting to see. I'm also doing another little thing at the moment. It's taking me a little bit more time than I thought it would, but I'm looking at Manchester United from the international break last year and Liverpool, because that international break for me is where you started to see the downfall of, let's say the downfall of Liverpool, that's the wrong way, the regression of Liverpool. I think Man United are in front of them from that point there. And this is it. If Man United continue in their form since the 1st of Feb till the end of the season, factually they'll win the league. It's almost impossible. Liverpool are going to have an almighty jump to be able to catch them in terms of trajectory. So it's really interesting to see. Really looking forward to going into that in a little bit more detail. Got a full panel coming on to preview this game, though, because I'm really intrigued. I'm really excited about this game tonight. Must win game for Manchester United. It really, really is. Terry, when United sit on top, will you admit that you are challenging? So there's being in a title race, there's being contenders, and there's being favourites to win it. Man United, for me, can be in a title challenge, but you're not going to draw me in to saying that Man United should be winning, that Man United are favourites, that Manchester United should be tipped to finish in front of Liverpool. Unless people want us, I'm happy to say we're favourites. If you're all happy to come on camera and say Man United are a better team than Liverpool, then I'm cool to accept that challenge. What you can't do is say Liverpool are better than you, Liverpool's players are better than you, their manager is better than yours, but yet you're favourites. That don't make any sense, bro. So I'm happy for us to be the favourites to win the league from this point, but you've all got to come out, Grizz, Gav, Mr. Redmond, Redmen TV, Klopp, come out and say Man United are the better team. All come out publicly and admit it right now, and I'll take the mantle with saying we're favourites, bruv, as long as you're admitting we're better than you publicly. How'd you like them apples? You won't do it though, will you? See, that's what happens. You can't do it to me. You can't kid a kidder, bruv. You can't do it. It's as simple as that. There we go. A lot of people are going, I don't understand your graph, Terry. I mean, it really ain't that hard. It's just a trajectory of points per game. Man United is going up. Liverpool's is going down. Liverpool need to change their form. Man United need to continue. At the very least, continue where we are. If not, there still needs to be another 5% improvement from Man United. And then at the very least for it to flatline. But there we go. We're going to get the panel involved now as well, though. I want to get them all on to have their say. We've got bits and bobs. We've got my guy, Elite KJ, and football terrorist royalty in man like Neeks. Gentlemen, how are we all doing? We good?
Yes, man, we're good. We're good.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So big game tonight. So what? Yeah. Big game tonight. Huge game tonight. Massive game tonight. We are gaining on Liverpool. And I tweeted a little thing about projected points last night, and Neeks sort of come out and was like, what are you doing? I'm looking at this, trying to look at this as scientifically as possible, so I'm not putting emotion into it. We really are on a great trajectory right now. It can't be denied by anyone.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, since that game against the Spurs, where I think at that point we had won one out of our first three, we have picked up 27 points from our next 12 games, I believe it is. So we've lost one game to Arsenal since the first international break. And after that international break, Solskjaer's job was apparently on the line by fan noise, media reports, etc. The work we've done in the league specifically since then, it's been marred by Champions League performances, but in the league alone, it's formed that will win you a title. We spoke about our home form being relegation form and our away form being title winning form, but overall, since that game against Spurs, we are a different team, and we just need to hope that we can continue that.
And on that same thread, the home form, it was the first 4 games. It was 3 defeats and a draw in the first 4. Since then, it's 3 wins, 1 draw. So, win tonight at home against Aston Villa, and it's suddenly 4 wins from our last 5 games at home. You can see it's clear evidence that the home form is now resolving itself. Obviously, a big game for you tonight, KJ, because you are a Brummie lad. You've got absolute. I mean, everyone says I'm in love with Marcus Rashford. I honestly think you would have children with Jack Grealish if you could. If it was plausible, if God enabled anatomy to work in that way, I think it would happen. But I know you're backing 100% Man United tonight. You want Man United to. You'd probably like us to win 5-0 and Jack Grealish to score a world-class wonder goal as a consolation, just to say.
Not even that,
look at that. Look at that. I like it. How confident are you about tonight's game, though, mate?
Oh, I am nervous. I am nervous, and not because Villa are a good team. I would never discredit Villa in the form that they are. They're a good team and they're playing very good football, and they do have Jack Grealish in their team who will probably start this game. But legit, the reason why I'm nervous is because, again, it's another test to show that Manchester United are coming over those mentality blocks that they've had over the last few years. Not just last season, but for the last 8 years, we've had those moments. So yeah, I'm nervous, but I'm hopeful and confident that we can bring home the win. We have shown that we're on a good form. Like that last game against Wolves it was brilliant because it's like, we did not play well at all, but we still managed to find the winner, and that's what we want to see from your team. Like if you're not going to play well, at least find a way. Deflection, own goal, last minute pen, whatever it is, you find a way to win, and we're doing that. So yeah, I'm confident. I'm happy with how we're performing. And just on a point that Nick was saying about the form. In 2020, we're in 2021 now, but if we just look at last year in 2020, we only lost five league games as a whole in a whole calendar year or something like that.
Yeah,
we lost those 2 against Liverpool and Burnley, and then we lost the 3 this season. In the whole of 2020, we've done pretty well.
That's crazy.
You know, one of the league.
When I share the other graph that I'm creating, just around those points per games, what's interesting is you see a dip this season, and it's in that beginning period. And for me, I remember bringing this up at the time, and I was shot down for saying it, but it was a case of you see a little bit of the dip in the points per game if you take from the 1st of Feb until now, because the 2 significant reasons. You've got the international break as part of that, and when Bruno Fernandes signed, and Pogba returning, Rashford coming back. It's worth looking at that as an example. You see a little dip towards the end of last season where I think the Brunos and Pogbas and Rashford were overused and we were looking a bit stale. And then having no preseason, those first 5 games of the campaign, we just weren't ourselves. And, if we'd have had a proper preseason this year, I honestly think we'd be in an even stronger position than we are now. Another 4, 5, 6 points on the board and in a commanding position. Bits and bobs, from your point of view, I mean, you're sort of up and down with your confidence of Man United. Of course, publicly, you're always back in the club, which is great. Is it nice from your point of view now to start seeing just more Man United fans happy with how we're performing and starting to believe a bit more in the club again?
Yeah, of course, man. It's funny though, isn't it? Nice run of games. Everyone's all happy, isn't it? Look, we've been in this position before, Ollie going on a run. When his job's against all odds and stuff, he comes out and he drops a run on us. The most interesting thing is that actually now the run that's coming is that we're second. And a lot of people are smiling like Neats with his Colgate teeth. Do you know what I mean? The Colgate whites are coming out. Do you know what I'm saying? Everyone's Colgate whites are coming out now. It's just interesting, isn't it? When you just actually take them back and just allow Man United to do what they do, allow Ollie to do whatever he does. If it's man management, if he's telling boys to go side to side, shut up and just back the team. It's good because now it's like we're all going towards one direction now, Yeah. We're thinking we can actually compete. I do agree with KJ though, because the back of the head, it's like, we know you can beat Aston Villa. However, are you going to do that today?
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, 110%, 110%.
Harry, sorry.
Yeah,
go on. I'm going on a bit of a tangent. I'm going to go on a bit of a tangent.
Okay, yeah. I was just going to say, I think that's the thing for me. When we get people keep saying, you've got to be favourites now. You keep saying your trajectory's up and your points per game's better, and you've got Bruno, the best player in the league. You've got to be favourites. I'm even happy to accept the favourite tag as long as all these people, like if you get, for instance, Gab from LFC Day Trippers that wants to be salty and say you're favourites now, then cool. But say in your videos with your chest that Man United are better than you now.
Terry, it's funny because I was actually going to go there. I didn't realize you were going to go to the favourite part right now. No Liverpool fan is willing to come on camera and say 2 things. One, that we're favourites, or really even admit that we can win the title. They'll try and put pressure. You get people in the comments, maybe even a tweet here or there, try and put pressure on X, Y, Z. If we don't win a game, we bottled it. I spoke to my brother yesterday, Liverpool fan. And he was adamant that Manchester United have no chance of winning this title. We saw Drifty's video on the Coppish, and he said, Man United are playing well, but I'm not interested in Man United. It's Man City I'm worried about. Liverpool fans, face-to-face or on video, are saying that Man City are their biggest threat. And rightly so. If Man City win their 2 games in hand, they're only 1 point behind. And Man City have previous in recent history of winning. but it's only in the comments, it's only on the live chats on Twitter where people are trying to put Man United as the favorite, because when we don't win it, if we don't, you bottled it. No. You are the champions. Yeah. You are top. You have the best manager in the world. Own it, because when you were behind Man City, you were talking about what they spend all this money. They've got Pep Guardiola, X, Y, Z. Now you are the champions, the place where you've got yourself to. Own your crown and defend it. Don't try and put the pressure on anyone else.
People now are trying to goad us into doing what they did. We've got all these different rivals trying to goad us to do what they did in the early season.
Facts.
Like, you guys are now title challengers because you guys said that we were title contenders and we're going to no. You guys said.
Yeah.
Spurs fans said you guys
exactly.
Chelsea fans said they can challenge for the title. You guys were all calling the 7th terrible. Your transfer window was crap. Blah 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 blah. And now all of a sudden we're title contenders. That makes no sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, even as United fans, we said between 7th and 4th. You know what I mean? That's the place that we believed was going to go in. We didn't expect to be here, so there's no way in hell you, man, were expecting us to be here. So now you, man, say,
exactly.
oh, you guys have always been title challengers. Your squad's always been good. Ollie's always been a decent manager. No, fam, you, man, you guys are shook. That's what it is. You, man, are shook, and now you're like, oh crap. They were onto us because we said foolishness. And I need to get them back. Let's make them title challengers now. No, fam, United
fans are riding. We're riding a wave. We're having fun. A wave because we're in a position that we didn't even believe we would be this soon. Of course, we want to get the titles. So we're like, well, we're second. All right, let's see what we can do. But if we don't do it, we weren't supposed to do it anyway, as long as we progress from last season. That was our aim going into this season. Anything above that is a bonus. Anything above that.
It's funny though, isn't it? All these Liverpool fans, isn't it? Oh, you're useless. You've got Ollie, blah, blah, blah. All right, cool. Happy New Year, guys. We're right behind you. Say something now. Do you know what I mean?
Why would we... Go on, mate, go on.
People see us smiling and saying what we're saying and be like, oh, you see? They think they can win the league. No, bruv.
We're back.
We're just chilling. We're having a good time. We joke about 21 because 9 plus 10 equals 21, fam. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what it is, bruv. Like, we're just having fun and people are trying to rain on our parade, yeah? And we're rain on the vibes. You can't rain on Vibes FC, baby. You know what I'm saying? You can't bring down Vibes FC. Let's go.
You know what's mad? I'm gonna put the points per total up. I've been doing that. I've been listening, but I've been doing this. It's interesting reading since Bruno Fernandes has been here. Man United have won more points per game since Bruno Fernandes joined the football club than Liverpool have. And it's interesting because you see Liverpool, they're on it's a downward trajectory. Now it has flatlined in recent weeks, but from where they were, what's really interesting is this kind. But they've pretty much stayed. When you see the graph, and I'll put it up on the screen in a minute, since the beginning of February, they've had a drop, boom, right, and then it stayed within that area. Where Man United has actually stayed fairly flat since that period as well, because we've been in that form, which shows me two things. It says two things to me. People keep saying Ollie needs to create his team, needs to become more consistent. We've been consistent for the best part of a year now. So that's the points per game total is a true reflection of how consistent you are, because the more games you win, the higher it goes. But we're at a point now where we're on par, pretty much on par with Liverpool for a calendar year. And Liverpool are spoken about as a great, great team. We can't become that much more consistent. Like the jump from where we are now to the next level, you're not really going to, I keep saying this to people, mathematically, you're not going to notice it. Do you get where I'm coming from? It really is. It's one or two more wins. It's one win every 10 games additional. That's all we can. That's all we can improve now to be within a normal elite level bubble. The only time you're really going to notice it is if we got to City or Liverpool's standards of the last 3 years, where they were just winning in win percentage was in like the high 80s, low 90s. That's unprecedented though in Premier League history prior to that. So why would my expectations be that we have to reach a level that's been done 3 times in over 50 years of football? That's a madness, bruv. It's like saying to somebody, you might be the Olympic gold medalist, but it don't really count because you didn't beat Usain Bolt's world record. That's not how it works. You're still the best in the world at that. You're not the greatest ever. Do you get what I mean in terms of Premier League's total? But that's where we are right now. I'm going to get up on the screen as soon as I can. I want to share that. But I want the viewers' predictions on this as well. Do us a big favor tonight. Smash that like button as well. Liverpool are still the favourites. Someone here says this is starting to get a little embarrassing. What is?
What, having fun? If having fun's embarrassing, then fam.
This Terry changes like what's changed? I'm not saying on a real. I'm not saying we're favourites. I'm not saying we're going to win the league. I'm not saying Ollie's the greatest manager of all time. I know you are. I've not changed. All I'm doing is presenting the facts to you. It's down to you to make up your mind as to whether or not you think it's good, it's bad, it's indifferent, whatever it may be. But the facts don't lie.
But you know what's funny, Terry? Because there's Man United fans who are still Ollie out, and a lot of those fans who, because you can be Ollie out and you can be an Ollie outer. Ollie out means you don't think he's good enough, you want to leave. There's other people who are, whatever happens, he needs to leave my club. Whether he proves he's good enough or not, I want him out. For whatever agenda you're trying to push, those people are adamant. We are gonna win the league, because if we don't win it, it's Ollie's fault, and a better manager would have won it. Then you've got others who are like, listen, we're in a position where we can challenge. I hope they can do it. But if they don't, they're not going to turn and say, Ollie out, why didn't you win the league? It's really not that deep. It's really not that deep right now. We are in a position where no Man United fan, zilch, nil Man United fans believe. So you believe we're going to be second at New Year's Day?
I believe we were going to win the league at the beginning of the season.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I respect you, but I think you're a madman for even thinking
I
that.
do. I think you are. I think you're mad. Crazy.
Real talk. Do you know what it is crazy? It's mad. Trust me, yeah. But for some reason, I'm 31. Yeah, I've watched my United compete, and I just thought last season, yeah, Liverpool just weren't they didn't finish the league strong. I know they had the league won, blah, blah, but I just thought something's going to change, something's going to give. And I looked around squad-wise, I think we were in the hat compared to like Chelsea, Man City.
I did expect Liverpool to drop off. Don't get me wrong. We all said it. Liverpool fans were in denial. We said they were going to drop off. But exactly. I expected Man City to come hard, and I expect Chelsea to come harder, especially after the transfer windows. Because of our transfer window, I was like, listen,
this is the thing. And then, like, it's funny there, because obviously I say it in the group chats and I say it everything. I did say it on my channel and I said it here as well. And now, yeah, I'm thinking, New Year's Eve, why not a second, you know? I'm not that mad, you know? I'm not actually that.
Well, you know what that shows, though? That shows that you said it and you didn't even believe it, Pram. And now you do, because you're like, actually, what I said might be right. Right, that's what right now. You didn't,
bro. I wish I bet it, you know. Sorry, I don't want to.
Wait, I just want to say one thing. I see some people in the chat who are United fans saying we're defeatist or we're too negative. Believe we can win the league. Yo, listen. Not believing we can win the league is not being negative. You know what I mean? It's not trying to rain on anyone's parade. It's just trying to be logical.
Like bits and bobs, Alfie. I'm so happy you are gassed. You're so gassed that I don't need to be.
Yeah, you can be gassed.
I'm happy. And I'm not trying to rain on anyone's parade.
110%. I've got some super chats to go to. Before that, though, I've got it. I've done it while we've been talking on the air. I can't multitask. That's why I didn't join in with the chat. But I wanted to show you this is the points per game since Bruno Fernandes arrived at Manchester United. Man United in yellow, Liverpool in blue. Now you can see, and the interesting thing is, I'm going to go and do this research and do it. I actually want to do it from the beginning of last season until now, because I honestly think, because that will create an even truer picture of how the gap's been closed over an 18-month period. But you can see, again, Liverpool are ahead of us in these areas. It's not letting me actually show you on the screen anymore, which is weird. It was letting me do that last time. It was actually letting me. Oh, there we go. It will. So you can see where we were behind the curve for a while, but this was the back end of last season. We flew in front of them. This was that dip, and this was what's interesting. This dip here, this blue dip for Liverpool. That all happened when you had your full strength squad, and that was where the excuse was: we'd already won the league by this area here. We didn't really care about it. We were on the beach. You then started the season well, which you can see in this area here. And then you had your dip, which is it started the season well, which is where you dipped when it flew in front of us again, where we were fairly level towards the end of last season, because we regressed a bit towards the end as well when we got tired. And then you flatline, and we've just steadily got better. You can see this line just growing along here. Now that you're going downwards, it's because we've got defenders and everybody's out. But what about that? You've literally been flatlining, a few little rises and dips, but you pretty much remained even for, like I told everybody, since sort of February, March time last year. This is why I keep saying to Liverpool fans, stop deluding yourselves with this chat that your decline started when the injuries happened, because your injuries only came in around this period. But yet, how do you explain this bit off? Liverpool for nearly a year now have been dragged back into the mortal realm. Now, I didn't expect them. I thought they were going to be a little bit better than they've been so far this year. But of course, the injuries have taken their toll and taken their part as well. It gives Man United a chance. But I will reiterate this again. Liverpool are still favourites. I agree with Drifty to an extent that City should still be considered bigger favourites than us. Why?
They should, 100%.
They've got one of the greatest managers of the last 30 years. We have a PE teacher. Let me say this as well now, Liverpool fans that are out there. If Liverpool or City get pipped to this title by Ollie, it's the most embarrassing sort of defeat for top-level managers in the history of the Premier League. It's embarrassing for you because he's trash. And the thing with Matt and with Drifty, the element I didn't agree with, and I watched their review, is you could hear and see the fear and salt.
Oh, 100%.
Because Matt was literally regurgitating. He watched Saeed for 10 minutes before coming on. He just spoke about freestyle football, no systems, no patterns, moment players only. You know, I'm sitting there going, do you know what? Mohamed Salah, there's so many great moments in a Liverpool shirt. So that what they're saying is that's not Mo Salah, that's Klopp. It's so weird. We've got Danny Devil in the details here as well, bruv.
Welcome back, bruv.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, listen, I'll probably have to leave you. I apologize now if you hear screaming or see anything hit my face.
Yeah. Happy New Year, man.
Happy New Year to you as well.
What's wrong with the missus, bruv?
It's not the missus, my toddler, man. This is fine. It's the toddler. You know how they are, Terry. You know
bruv. That's why I've got my own little office. He's locked from the inside, bruv.
My missus has taken over the office. I can't even get in there.
Big.
See, now he's howling. There we go. You know what it is? Sneaks triggered me. I had a little sparring match with O'Shea in the group chat the other day about this. Nobody expected. So you triggered me to come on, Neeks. I saw
your comment in the live chat.
Do you know what it is? I kept saying to people when they brought up the 66 points total, you need to understand the team that finished the season for Manchester United is not the team that started it for the first 23 matches. It's literally two different teams last season. That form we had to qualify for top four, that was the potential of what Ollie could get out of a team that had a Mason Greenwood firing on all cylinders, Bruno Pogba fit, etc., etc. So now we've strengthened the squad. We're just seeing that continued. So I'm not surprised by the form. He's putting stuff in my ear. I'm not surprised by the form. If you told me Liverpool would be this poor, I would have expected it. If you told me City would be lagging behind like this, I would have expected it. But as far as Ollie,
do you remember that Sky Sports video? Day thing with the boy and the man putting his ear.
Yeah, now you know why I've been coming on streams. But no, in all honesty, like our form doesn't surprise me. It just surprises me how bad City have been so far and how bad Liverpool have been.
Yeah, I think that's a big part of it. And you know what? When you look at the graph, and I think it's interesting because you can pinpoint things. The dip towards the end of last season, which is, it's easier if I go on my screen here. The dip towards the end of last season, which you can see here, and the beginning of this season. That for me was two things. That was the squad not being deep enough last year, and we overplayed particular players towards the end of the campaign, and then we had no preseason. Now that we have it's been this period here towards the end where every single one of these games. What have we all been doing when the team's been announced? We've all been absolutely buzzing by the strength in depth on the bench, and if we had that same strength in depth last season, I think we would have ended the campaign even stronger as well. So it's an interesting one. The team news is out. I'm going to put that up on the screen now, people. Man United's team news is there. Bailly and Maguire start together again. Pogba, Martial, Rashford, Fred, Bruno, Shaw, Wan-Bissaka, Scott, McTominay. Look at that team.
Diamond, isn't it?
Maybe it is.
Didn't people think that? People thought that in a previous game you were going to play a diamond or another formation. Ended up being 4-2-3-1. What game was that?
Are we playing left wing Pogba?
That's it. It was the Leicester game. Everybody thought we was going to play a diamond or like a back three ended up being a back four. Ollie's sticking to 4-2-3-1. I think. I don't think it's going to be a.
I think Pogba's on the left. Personally,
you might get Pogba on the left and Rashford on the right.
Yeah,
Wingback.
which might suit Pogba, innit? Because he might be relieved of defensive duties if he's got Fred and McTominay.
And also, Villa are very strong in the midfield, like that midfield three, or the midfield two of McGinn and David Luiz. Douglas Luiz, very strong midfield. They work hard, they battle. So having Paul Pogba not directly in that midfield might be a good thing for him, where he can go out and have more time, spray the balls. All right, that's a good team. That's a very
good team, bro.
He was a very good player, and I expect him to perform wherever we put him in it.
Exactly.
I'll get the balance right, and I think he's been playing well since he's been eased back into the team, sub performances, and now he's been starting. He's been playing well. So whether it's a diamond, whether it's on the left, I expect performance from Pogba and everyone on that pitch. Martial, listen, this is his time. Cavani's out for 3 games. You had a good start. You had a good season last year. You've had a bad start to this season, or at least in goal return anyway. You need to now cement. You say, I am the number 9. There's a reason why Solskjaer trusted me to replace him.
Can we touch on that actually, Neeks? Like Greenwood, I think Marcus Rashford. I was just saying this to Indiana actually in a voice note. Am I right in saying Rashford has scored more Premier League goals than Cavani, Martial, and Greenwood combined?
Put together, yeah.
Could you imagine if Marcus Rashford had 1 goal this season? Like, I'm not saying we should get on Martial, but we're 3rd in the league for big chances created. He needs to step it up. So does Greenwood. Because we'll maintain this form to a good standard if these guys kick on. The fact we're in 2nd place and our 2 best finishers have 2 goals between them. That don't make no sense, actually. That's very strange.
Yeah. Do you know what's interesting about it as well? If Rashford, you're right, if Rashford had 1 goal, I even know what the rants would be saying. The rants, not rants, in case anyone tries twisting my words. The rants from fans would be, stop trying to solve hunger and feeding kids and focus on the game, bro. He'd be getting hate for doing that charity work because they're saying it's taking his mind off the football. It's interesting. I actually think that's making him a better football player. I think it's making him, centering him as a person. Some people need to be quite selfish footballers and stay kind of gritty and sort of angry and whatnot and focus on. I think some other people are elevated by what they do outside of it. We've got some super chats here. First one here, great contributor in the last few days from Walasha who says, we're going to beat Villa, Burnley and Liverpool. And then I need you guys to stop this conservative and gas the thing. We need the energy. Hashtag 21 is coming. Listen, if we beat those 3 teams in our next 3 game, that means beating Liverpool away. If that happens, I will by then admit and say that we are legit in a title race. I will. Still doesn't mean I think we're favourites. And that's...
I tell you right now, Terry, yes. It wouldn't shock me if we won those 3 games then lost the next bloody 5.
Well,
if we did win those 3 games, I'd start to worry.
Yeah.
I'd be worried about what's going on.
But Danny, I hear you. But it's also something that I said previously. Yes, we haven't been in a title race since 2013, but we're Manchester United. If after 19 games we are top of the league, points clear of whoever's in 2nd, we played everyone that season, so everyone won so far.
Yeah,
it would be cowardly. It would be very Spurs-like, if anything, to deny that you're in the title race. We are Manchester United. If you're in that position, you have to say, we didn't expect to be here, but we're here. And we're here on merit. Go and finish the job. Yeah. So I agree. As fans, we can't necessarily expect them to go and win it. But as players and manager, you put yourself in the position, finish the job now. Finish the job.
And here's the thing, like following the club blindly isn't better. You know what I mean? Like having blind faith in the club and the team isn't great support in my eyes. You know what I mean? Like, great. If you believe that 21 is coming, cool. Give me reasons why. Don't just say 21's coming because 21's coming. Give me reasons why. And then I'll be like, cool, I can get on that. But people expecting other United fans who are very cautious at the moment, not saying 21's coming. I just think you've clearly following blind faith.
KJ, I tell you this though, if Bailly stays fit,
tell him, Danny,
which he shouldn't, given his track record. If he stays fit, then I'm going to start believing in this judge that's going on and everything else. Because, no, honestly, Because listen, no team can win the league with a league of defense. But I just don't believe that. I don't think if you don't have a top centre back partnership, you can't win a league for me.
And I think this is the fourth time on the bounce now they're starting a game together. And with Bay, look, I know he came in after that Spurs game, and it was like everyone was buzzing, and he had an awful game. But I felt a bit sorry for him, and I sort of reflect on it afterwards, and you sort of think, like any player, though, he does need a run of games to find his feet, and he seems to be doing that. There's a comment here I've got to read out, and then we're going to go to a super chat. It says, so basically, LFC are on the decline and United are on an upwards curve, but still Liverpool are favourites and United is not challenging for the title, laughing. How you have reduced what I've said to that, and you've taken out one very, very significant element of points per games and looking at trajectory, Liverpool can change it. Liverpool are the better team. So what I expect to happen from here is for Liverpool's form to improve, for their points per game to improve. That graph I've shown you is based on facts, things that have happened. What it can't show you is what's going to happen. But if Liverpool don't improve and Man United continue to do so, two things become fact then. Man United become better than you. We become better than you. And therefore, we become favourites to win the league and we go on to win it because we're winning more points per game. That means we're better than Liverpool Football Club. Absolute cast iron facts. The league is the ultimate barometer.
And also, you're taking two things out of consideration: the level of which two teams both start at. If Liverpool up here and United down here, even if Liverpool decline to there and United do this, they're still better than us. So they still can be favourites, even though they're declining. Like it's not that hard to compute. You're just sorry,
it's hard to compute because for some people, two things can't be true at the same time.
Exactly.
It has to be. That's why when Terry was being logical before I got on, people were like, "Hold on, Terry's flip-flopping." No, Terry's been actually pretty consistent, telling everybody United have been accumulating more points than most of the bloody league for a long time now. People, now it's just we're seeing the fruits of our labour.
Well, what I said maybe 2 months ago in a stream, and I had some off the air chats with I think all three of yourselves, Neeks, Danny, and KJ, about this win percentage and points per game and win percentage are much of a muchness. Really, they're just a different type of math. But it was a case of you do the reset. Shit, we only have to literally win one more game in 10 to almost draw level with where Liverpool have been for nearly a year now. And you're like, that's how I would sell it to the team. If I was talking to my players, I'd be like, look, let's not talk about gaining another 27 points. That seems massive. I just want you to win one more. Don't lose any more than you're losing now, but win one more game in 10 and we can challenge for a title. That's literally all we had to do. And we've started to do that. And then my question in those same comments were, but can we show consistency? Because for the second half of last season and for parts of this year, we've been brilliant. We just now need to maintain where we are for the rest of this campaign. So not a calendar year. It needs to be an actual season. And once that's done, who knows what we're going to do? And do you know what? If we end up finishing second or third this year, 7-8 points at the top, what great progression. You have another big summer and then you go again. And by the way, if we have a really good end and push a little bit for this title.
I said another big summer. You mean a big summer? We had a
big summer. Then my expectations change where I'm like, well, no, next year we have to be the minimum is we're in a title race. And that's the kind of energy that I would come with because I'm fair to it. United have a fantastic squad. They could be in a title race. Yeah, if everybody stays fit.
No. He said they should. He says they should be in a title race.
No, because you can't. Again, this maybe not with you, Minna. You might think that Ollie's a brilliant manager and our players are. You've obviously got a fantastic squad. But if we do have a PE teacher with no tactics who only listen, Aaron come on here the other day and said this. His words were along the lines of, "I just get annoyed that all we do in training is work on
counter-attacking
football." So if that's all true, that he only works on counter-attack, he doesn't discipline anybody, he's got no man management skills, he's weak, he's a Glazer puppet, he's a PE teacher, he's not qualified, he got the job on a technicality. If all that's true, then we shouldn't be in a title race because can you show me a team that's won the Premier League with a PE teacher manager that has no style of play, that has no coaching technique, that has by the way, all his coaching staff are trash. Do you get what I mean? Players don't respect him. That's what all you Ollie outers have been saying. You can't suddenly say we've got a great squad, we should be challenging.
And our best players
no, you're wrong, Terry.
Wait, 1 second, Danny.
Individual.
I know just one line, and our best players are penalty merchant.
Yeah, see that line though? Is that just for Man United or is it for all the very good squads in the league?
Yeah,
because you're just talking about Man United because Chelsea are millionaire row, aren't they? They're packing all this talent. Shouldn't they be winning the league or shouldn't they be competing with the league? Do you know what I mean? So people just need to just relax, man. Look, it's 2021, boys. Do you know what I mean? Just relax, Just let the boys do their thing, and watch 21 come home.
110%. A comment here says, considering that Greenwood and Rashford are academy players, if we got offered 100 million plus for Martial from Bayern or Real Madrid, would you accept it?
Hell yes. It ain't never gonna happen.
He's not worth 100 mil, so I'll take it.
Yeah, of course I would. I love Martial.
You take 100 mil and you just go and get well, no, maybe not Haaland because of the agent, but you just go and buy a Haaland type player and you've just improved your squad.
You could get Haaland and Upamecano for about 100 mil, no?
With the buyout clause, you could. So I would for that kind of money, 100. Where it becomes a harder question if you said, would you sell him for like 50 million? That's a hard one. I probably wouldn't. It would need to be big.
75 plus. I'm here for it.
Yeah, and then
then buy Jack Grealish.
Absolutely. It's currently 0-0 between Everton and West.
Yo, this game is shocking.
That's why Danny's on the stream. I saw him tweet. He's like,
when you say shocking, what do you mean?
No quality, Terry. You know what it is? I wish this is when I miss old school Premier League football. Get the ball to the winger. Let me see some skills down the flanks. Because all these guys are trying to do is just...
Terry don't accept that. That's not what Terry wants to see. Skills. I don't think
true. I want to see skills and quality at the end of it.
Both teams are pressing each other. Both teams are trying to pass it. They're prepared for each other's patterns. Nobody can beat a man. The game's just dead. They're just cancelling each other out. There's no quality either. Freestyle
football's bad. Freestyle football's bad.
Can I ask you a question? Regardless of our... I said regardless. Okay. Regardless of our result today, the City versus Chelsea game, what are we looking for from that game?
Draw. Because I'm not convinced, Neeks. I have expectations for City based on their reputation, but based on what I've seen, I can't say they're going to do what they should be doing. So,
in terms of the season, or you mean in that game?
No, in terms of the season. So why would I want to be like, I'm happy with them getting 3 points? Nah, draw.
I'm gonna be honest.
They're both our enemies. So
I hear you. They're both our enemies for different reasons. Because for me, we are as much in a title race as we are in a race for top 4. The points between us and the top and us and 5th or 6th is much of a muchness. And we're literally one in between. So, and I still think top 4 is the priority. Getting top 4 again is a good season. I need Chelsea to lose. I need Chelsea to continue in this rut. Chelsea getting a draw against City.
Hang on. No, they missed it. Cresswell.
1-0.
It's 1-0 West Ham.
1-0 West Ham.
Your second team. Your second team.
West Ham?
Yeah.
No, I'm celebrating. No. Listen, I don't support. I'm celebrating the fact that Everton right now are kind of in a top 4 race. Yeah. And for me, every point anyone who's in this top 4 rate drops, it gives up. Because if we win, if they now lose, right, they're going to be on 29 points. If we win tonight, that's 4 points in front of them. That is, for me, it's about I just want us to keep. The reason I want us to focus on a title race is because and not look behind us. Is my hope is like you can push away for 15 games at a title race, and you might fall behind Liverpool because they're brilliant in the end. You know, right, not 9 points behind, we can't win the league. But you look behind you, and you're 12 points clear in top 4. And it makes the end of this, and then that way you can go out. Well, let's focus on the Europa League then.
I wanted to finish the point I was going to make. And additionally, on top of the top 4 race, which I think Chelsea are still obviously they're still in that race. Let's not get twisted. I didn't drop points, but also in terms of a title race, Liverpool are the best team in the country. Liverpool are favourites. Liverpool are the champions. For Liverpool to bottle the league or lose the league, not win it, the more challenges they have, the better. City are the best bet to challenge Liverpool. And to be honest, this season with Liverpool 19, it's anyone but Liverpool.
Yo, your brain is different, bro. Your brain is different.
I slept on it. Yesterday I was like, draw.
I need to break this down quickly, KJ. So he wants City to win because of the top 4 race.
Yes.
And the title race, and wants more challenges for Liverpool.
You're talking about the top 4 race, and
season's mad.
If you do realize that if we lose this game, Ollie out will be trending bad, and everyone who said 21 is coming, well, most people who said 21 is coming will be like 21's not coming because Ollie is crap and Ollie out, and that's what it is. That's what
Yeah,
happened.
but you know what, KJ? This is the thing with the
madness.
with the Ollie out energy. The results will take care of them. That's why even if we lose today, well, I know he's not going to get fired. So we've got another 7 games and more time to put a run, and we'll shut them up again. Like that's why I don't really like today. You know, this isn't a make or break match. Like mentality wise, it indicates something.
But we do need to win, Danny.
No, Bobs, I hear you. Look, if we win this game, being in the position we're in, it will indicate something mentally.
Exactly.
But as far as our long term, but big picture stuff, it's not the end of the bloody season. Do you know what I mean?
If you're Alfie, bits and bobs, if you're Saeed that thinks we're going to win the league now, I'm not sure what Rance is saying. I'm putting these people out there. Rance and Saeed are different from these two because they've been Ollie out for a long time. They're going to put a lot of pressure now on us going on a title race at the bare minimum, if not winning the league. And they'll be disappointed if we don't. Coming close to winning the league and just falling short is still a thumb in the eye for the original rhetoric and narrative from the Ollie outers that he had no plan, he was trash, he wouldn't do anything. Because yes, they can still claim, I told you he'd never be able to win us a league title. I'm kind of Ollie ambiguous, and I still don't know if he can win us a league title, if that makes sense. And I know Neeks is in that same position. So we never disagreed with Ollie outers on their point that he would or wouldn't be able to win us a league title. Where we disagreed with him is on the lack. It was on one area, and this is something I don't want to allow to become lost in the weeds and muddled and fade away. Is you said there was no system, no style, no man management, no improvement. When we had Culture Cam on here, he sat on here in September time and said to us straight live on the air, there's been no improvement in us as a football team. Us even challenging for a title, they've all got to come out and say, do you know what? I was wrong. Maybe not about the end result, that he's good enough to win us what we've done, but he has built that base. There has been improvements. There's a togetherness. There's a strong dressing room. You know, he's worked well with what he's got with. It's the level of sort of the hyperbolic comments, the exaggerated criticism, which I've always found harsh because this guy's a club legend. And I'm not saying you blind support a club legend. I'm saying, why lie about him? Why overtly disrespect someone?
Why undermine him?
Undermine him, lie about him. And the fact that this is one thing I'd say to anyone who listens to a lot of these people is, if you're listening to people that are lying, if they've got to lie to win an argument, and they are lying, because if you said there's no improvement, the facts don't care about your feelings, they're there. If they're lying to win an argument, how are you taking them seriously? Even if there's 3 points they make out of 10, where you go, they're bang on with those 3 points, they undermine themselves. You know, if they would have said I'm Ollie out because he's got decent tactics, we have improved, but I just think he's ceiling and I want us to improve and become better. Nobody would ever have had an issue with that. It was the whole no system, no style, none of this.
Terry, I'll have an issue with that depending on who it's coming from. Because what these people will do now to appear logical is just switch the argument around so they don't appear to be like the people you just described. They'll be like, okay, yeah, we challenge now. He's hit his ceiling. Get rid of him. Get him this guy.
And that's fine though, because those people will lose credibility because they're like what I call the proper flip flops in the sense.
Bob's my son. He's saying 21.
I was like, he knows. Tell him his Uncle Bob says, "Good boy, good boy."
Quality. Do you get where I'm coming from? So if somebody that I've seen on Twitter, so like someone like Eye Test, I give Eye Test a bit of respect because he literally admitted why he's been so. He's like, it was my ego got in my way. He's kind of admitted now that. He hasn't said Ollie's a great manager. He just said I was overly harsh on him. And I think there's a lot of the Ollie out brigade now that are like, yeah, I know I was being harsh on him. They're probably going to admit to it on air at some point and said, you know what, I was angry. It was this, I had a bad month at work, or the girlfriend left me. There'll be a secondary reason for why they were so harsh. My ego got in the way, and they'll admit to it. And I'm a bit like that, by the way. If we get really close to winning the title this season, then I'll probably say keep him for his final year. I still stand by what I've been saying the whole time, though. I don't know if he's good enough to win us a league. And do you know when I'm going to know when he is? If he does it. And that's it. But my view is what I don't want to do, and this has been my argument a lot of the time, and it gets lost in the weeds. When you're close to maybe winning a league title and you're improving, I don't want to rock the apple cart. Oh, hang on.
Is it true?
Antonio. Is that Antonio? Hilarious. Like, he did it on this most amazing. I think it was Antonio. Is he number 30?
Yeah, Antonio.
He went on this amazing run. And he did it, but it gets right to the last bit, and then it just becomes comical. I love Antonio. He's just like a poor man's Lukaku. It's great. He is. Do you get what you know when I say he's a poor man? Oh, he actually missed the ball. He's kicking everything.
Yo, of all poor men to be, of all poor like Lukaku, a poor man.
What I mean is, his overall round football is about the same as Lukaku. Lukaku just a superior finisher. Do you get where I'm coming from? Like a severely superior. But everything else about his game reminds me of Lukaku. It's just sort of he does. You know what it is? It's comical when he does things wrong. So he misses the ball. The way he falls is just funny, bro. Do you know what I mean? It's like an Irishman telling a joke. They just got a way of doing it, the Irish. They're just like, they're not even telling jokes and the stories can be funny. I think it's the tone of voice. You get what I mean? Scottish people are like that. Scottish have got like a great storytelling voice, if that makes sense. And it's just, you're in London to tell a story. I'm just bored. But yeah, it's one of them. It's going to be really, really big. We have some super chats here. Win or lose, we don't turn on Ollie. We win today. Beat Burnley and the Scousers, then all I need for you is to stop being so conservative. Second one, saying the same thing.
If we win our next 2 games, regardless of Liverpool's result against Southampton, which isn't going to be easy, for me, we go into a Liverpool game with no pressure, 0 pressure. Because that means
who's he calling DJ Academics? He's talking about you. That's disrespectful. That's disrespectful.
You're talking about
DJ Academics. I thought he was talking about me because I want to that.
I don't know what that means.
He's a DJ. He's a real person. DJ.
Yeah.
Real person. Don't worry about that. I don't look like Academics is calm. It's all good.
But yeah, I'll say we go into the Anfield though with no pressure because no one expects us to beat Liverpool at Anfield, let alone at any ground. No one expects us to beat them. The pressure's all on them if they go into that game either level points with us or behind us if they drop points to Southampton and we win our 2 games. So I just hope we do our job in the 2 games we got now. And I'm just like, whatever happens at Anfield, don't get battered. Don't get embarrassed, and we're good. I'm good with you. Like, don't get embarrassed, and we're good.
Yeah, I mean, imagine on Monday. I mean, if we win tonight and they drop points to Southampton, it just becomes
mad.
Mad. Is the Burnley fixture been announced yet?
Yeah, the 12th of January. So you could be level points with Liverpool when we go into that game.
And Solskjaer was asking for it to be played before the Liverpool game. Because he wanted to kind of let's see if we can put some pressure on Liverpool. Everything's even.
Cavani back fresh for that game as well.
For the Burnley game.
Yeah. He'll be back for that game. I just must have missed that news in the mire of everything else going on. I didn't know that game had been announced. Wow. I mean, yeah, I'm not getting ahead of this game. We've got to focus as a club on this game now. But what's really good about another win tonight, we can go on to 33 points tonight, and that will put us, we'll be safe. Villa are the team in 5th. That will put us clear in the top 4 by 7 points overnight.
Yo, Southampton are taking points on Liverpool. I'm saying it now.
Thank you.
They've been looking a bit dry recently. They haven't looked the same.
KJ, I'm going to be honest. The stars are telling me we're going to end up top, but we're not going to maintain it.
Are you discerning the judge? Is the judge telling you that?
We're going to end up top somehow, but we're not going to maintain it. Let me just say that. But the way it's looking right now, I can honestly see us winning the next 3 matches.
Do you know what? If they lose to Southampton and we beat Burnley, do you know what? I bet there'll be some weird scouser that's going to say something like, it's not fair they've been given an extra game before this match. I bet they moan at when we've been allowed to play it. Like, 100 years ago, they'll be like, no, that's not fair. That's not fair, our kid. That's not fair. Not fair.
But the thing is, and then they'll blame it on Boris because they're in tier 4 now, so they can't get the fans.
Not fair. Done on purpose.
Before we end the stream, can we quickly just have a little chat about if we do lose this game? Because I feel like people are going to be like, these guys are just too confident to chat. No, if we lose this game, United fans should this tweet just be like, cool. We're being calm.
If we lose this game, I even more desperately want Man City to beat Chelsea.
Listen. But the thing is, though, Aston Villa have taken points off the champions. Okay, so there's no embarrassment.
No, they spanked the champions. They didn't take points off them.
I can't do the quote on there, but when it comes to that, when you look back at that Villa Liverpool game, there's a David Brent quote from The Office that fits it perfectly, but you can't use it on air. If you've watched The Office, if you know, you know. It's as simple as that. But a lot of you know what's mad about it as well, right? I'm not looking ahead of today's game. If you go back to the beginning of the stream 54 minutes ago, I speak about how hard tonight's game is. Villa are no mugs. They're having one of the greatest seasons in Premier League history, in modern day Premier League history. Anyway, they're having a great start to the campaign. We need to be on point tonight. We need to go out there, and then what's nice after today is we get a little respite. The next couple of games are cup games, so I think there'll be a bit of rotation. And I want to win the semi-final, and I want to beat Watford in the cup. There's no doubt about it. But for me, it's just take your mind off the league for a few games. You get what I mean? And then our next game is Burnley. For me, what I'll be saying to them all tonight is that, like, Burnley are not an easy game either, but it's just that sort of case of get it done tonight, boys. And then, you know what? You can just enjoy the next couple of days. Train, watch all your rivals play, because what you know for a fact, it's very unlikely that another rival, we've seen Everton drop points tonight already, and I'm talking top 4 rival stroke title challenge rivals. It's a fact more are going to drop points because either Chelsea or City or both are dropping points. You got Leicester playing Tottenham. That's a tough one. Southampton and Liverpool play each other, which means someone who's in this sort of top 4 race is dropping points again. And it's brilliant. I'm so excited about it.
Someone said it in the comments, and it's a good point. Villa's bench is weak, and that's one thing from watching them I can tell. That their beak is not bench not that strong. They have to wait, like Dean Smith last game against Chelsea, waited till the 80th minute to start making subs because he knows that his first 11 is his first 11. Mm-hmm. So we have got the advantage of our bench have got some game changes on there.
Can I just say, KJ? Can Ollie get credit for rectifying his substitution policy now? He does make subs early now, and it can impact and change matches.
Wasn't that a stat that he made like 3 halftime changes in a row or something like that?
No, but I think for the last 10 matches, his first sub now is at 59 minutes on average.
Listen, guys, I think
last sub is with 20 minutes to go. Because that was a narrative before, right? The subs weren't very good.
Sorry, Danny.
Sorry, Pops.
Go on, Bob.
No, I'm just saying that, like, what you're saying, is like, why are people shocked that this guy's doing man management? Okay, in the past, you don't think he's going to learn?
Because he's a PE teacher. Because he's a PE teacher.
True, I suppose. Yeah, he's only good at giving detention or something, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But bits and bobs. I said this in the group chat. It wasn't even an attack. I was responding to a question that Jem asked, and I said people have an opinion, and they hold on to that opinion forever, even when things change, they get stuck in what was true and don't look at what is. It's the same thing with Marcus Rashford. I was doing a stream on my channel, and I had a Spurs fan in there talking about he's a purple patch player. He's he only scores in runs, and he doesn't, and then he disappears after a certain time. And I said, you're thinking about Rashford 2017, 2018. For the last year and a half, 2 years, we actually went through the stats live on air. He's only gone maximum, which is last season, 3 games without a goal or an assist. He is always involved game after game after game. Yeah. But because it was true at the start of his career or under Jose Mourinho, whatever, it's true forever. We have to be able to reevaluate. And a lot of people are not willing to do that.
The 2 things on the Rashford thing that you pick up on, it was happening under Jose, and the same people that seem to dislike Rashford and haven't changed their minds are the same people that hated the football under Jose. So it's like they're not even allowing Jose's bad football to be a contributing factor to why Rashford was more inconsistent. And he wasn't inconsistent at that age. He was a youngster, and now he isn't. And it's been 18 months. So he was 21 still when he started this improvement that he's on, and it's been brilliant. And the only 2 football players in the last 10, 15 years that have consistently that have always consistently gone no more than a game without scoring or assisting has been Messi and Ronaldo. Everyone else. Mane has probably been considered the best left-sided attacking player for the past 2 or 3 years in Europe. Most people, if you said Mane, nobody overtly disagrees with you. He's been there or thereabouts in Europe. Man's got like a couple of goals in 2.5 months. But yet that's not considered bad. And by the way, that's quite normal for a player to go through these patches.
And it's very common actually with Mane. If you actually look at Mane since he's been at Liverpool, last season was his best season. It's not last season. The season before where he got 20 goals. I can't remember now. But he goes through these little periods where he actually doesn't score, doesn't assist. Doesn't mean he's not effective. Doesn't mean he's not running and pressing and affecting play, etc. But in terms of just putting up numbers, he's not doing that. But because they're winning, because maybe he's likable, maybe because maybe he's not as focused. Whereas you get the focus on Salah, who might not score for a game or 2, and it's like, oh well, in your first season you scored 45. How can you score 45 now? You're rubbish, you're trash.
And that's it. And what they don't do with Rashford gets at the other end. It's if he ain't scoring, he isn't doing anything else. It's like, that's just not true. I was actually looking at the stat. I was looking at stats today, just like looking at different players in the league. And it's like he completes more this season. He's completed one extra dribble. It's completing double the amount of dribbles per game that Zaha has. And I'm not saying that's like what's wow, but it's one of those things. He needs to do more off the ball. He needs to do more than just score goals, but he does. You're just not looking for it because you want to be negative about him. But
why does he? If his game is based on scoring goals, why are these goalposts consistently moving?
Because
I put this in a group chat the other day, Terry.
True,
so Son is considered world class with no trophies, 0 trophies. Watch them say Marcus Rashford has to win a Premier League or Champions League or something to be considered world class, even though he can match Son's numbers. I can already see it.
Mate, 110%. And we know this. And we'll just keep until I'm going to listen. ITS was the first of many. By the time I retire on socials or by the time Rashford retires, I'm going to make them all eat their words. I'm a dog with a bone on this one. And I ain't letting go, bruv. Like I don't want to push an agenda that he's the greatest football player to ever play for Man United in the Premier League. He isn't. I don't even mind you saying, he's good, but I'd prefer him to do these things. It's he's trash. There's nothing about, again, it's the hyperbolic. There's nothing there. He's just, it's mad how.
I was going to say that earlier in terms of United fans do this weird thing where we just over criticize and lie about our players. So Oli has no tactics. He clearly does. Whether they work or not is a different question. Paul Pogba, I've heard United fans say Paul Pogba's done nothing for this club and this team, and that's a lie. You know what I mean? Rashford is rubbish.
It's a lie.
It's a lie. It's a lie. All these are all lies, fam. And it's all, you know what I mean? Like Maguire has not helped or improved United in any aspect. That's a lie, bro. Like all it is, all lies. And I don't know why we do it to ourselves. United fans, stop lying.
Do you know what, bro? I know what it is. Its core and its biggest part is. It's how can I get traction with my tweets and my YouTube videos and my Insta posts? I will put out content that's
Terry, you're giving them too much credit, bro.
I think it's highly attractive to rivals, bro. I think it's highly attractive to rivals.
I think these men just don't know football. Honestly, that's what I think.
You said it, because do you know what? When someone says something stupid, right? Especially if you don't know them, and if you don't know them and they say something really stupid and they continue to lie and say so, you stop rating their intelligence. Do you know what I'm trying to say to you? Like, really, and this is not a dig to anyone personal. I'm just saying, I know I've been going on about saying, Man United are going to win the league, blah, 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 stuff, but you guys know me. You know my character, blah, blah, you know how I am. I'm not deluded, you all know that, but I'm just saying when they keep talking was, and it's like, really? Like, do you know... Really?
Yo, was is that Scottish slang? Was, where's that from?
Wait, you never heard of one, Danny?
Nah, was. What's was?
Yeah, that's just talking crap, isn't it? Rubbish.
I don't want to swear on the stream.
I got the context. I just never heard that word before.
We need Agent Jack to drop a stinker today and then sign the contract afterwards. You know what I'm saying? All them secret dealings in the back room and that. That's what's gonna. Listen, I'm here for it.
It is what it is, but like I just knowing social media like I do, it's like even like the United fans are back what we're doing now. They'll always still have a player that they love to scapegoat, and it's attractive to a certain sort of type of fan and social media fan. It always gets attraction. If you look at it depends on how your team's doing, but it's. In the last few months, the negative Arsenal fans have done the best on social media. The positive ones have been in the bin. Up until that really bad run, the positive ones were the ones that were flying on social media, and the negative ones were supposedly in the bin. It's just the way around it goes, and people seem to pick a camp, but then they don't come out of the camp. There's very little that they don't change. That's what I always like about Lee Gunner, because if Arteta actually did turn it round, I know Lee Gunner would say, I got that wrong, and he wouldn't care, if that makes sense. But I know other people, they either do this weird thing where they just switch at the drop of a hat, but they go so extreme with their switch that people forget that they're flip-flop and they just laugh at the new content that's coming, or they just dig their heels in for eternity, bruv. Do you know what I mean? And it's, like the film, The Wizard of Oz, where like the witch is dead and the shoes are still there. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's their guys. They dig their heels in so hard. Even when they're gone, their Twitter career is over. The shoes are still sat there, bruv, on the yellow brick road, sitting there. It's like, damn, the house took them out, but the shoes are still there. That's how far their heels are dug in. Boys, score predictions tonight. KJ, who's winning? What's the score going to be?
Ooh, I want to go 2-0 United. Tough game.
Bits and Bob.
I'm saying Man United 3-1. And we get Harry Maguire scores the third goal.
Oh, wow.
That's weird.
You put a bet on Bob's, yeah?
You know me, bro. I'm Scottish.
Yeah, he's Scottish. He puts on bets and he's literally got like cooking oil running through his veins at those Mars bars in butter and all that. You know what I mean? You like Tizer? You like Tizer? Iron Brew. Iron Brew. Is Iron Brew Scottish?
It's an old school drink. Yeah. We used to have that up here.
I don't think they sell Tizer in the shops no more, Till. You're showing your age, bro.
Listen, if they don't sell it in Waitrose, I don't know, bro. Do you know what I mean? It's one of them ones now where I live. That's all it is. It's a little Waitrose, bro, and you get everything else gets delivered. Danny, score prediction, please, brother.
3-2.
To
Manchester United.
Oh, yeah. I wanted to specify. I didn't want you to say that, and then it's 3-2 Villa. Like, I got it right. It's 3-2. Neeks, what you going with, bruv?
2-1 United.
Oh, I'm going to go with 3-0 United. I'm going to put a big thing in tonight. Marcus Rashford scoring his first Man United hat-trick.
In the Premier League. In the Premier League.
It's coming tonight. It's coming. Watch it. He's going to do it. And I love that boy. He's I would have his babies 110%.
aside from a Rashford hat-trick, which I would love, I need a Martial goal. Martial needs to score. Cavani's out for 3 games. Martial needs to score.
I'd love a Martial hat-trick tonight.
You know what? Like, I want us to win overall. A Martial hat-trick would be brilliant for the confidence of him as an example. But I'm not, see, when it comes to scoring, I like the way football's gone now, because unless you've got an out-and-out striker that you tend to value on goals, with these inside forwards and strikers you have now, for me, it's goal contributions. I'm happy for Rashford to get a hat-trick of assists. I'm happy for Rashford not to score for 20 games, as long as he's getting a lot of assists in those matches. You get what I mean? As long as he's contributing, I'm kind of happy along those lines. But yeah, Martial scoring would be important. Look, Bruno's inevitable. He's going to come up with stuff at some point. I wouldn't mind a bit of a game. Do you know? I'd like.
We haven't had a pen in ages. Let's have a penalty.
I know. Can we get a penalty?
Three of them. Hat-trick of penalties. I wouldn't mind Pogba having. I always want people to do well, but I'd like Pogba to have a few standout games in this period as well, because we are on this sort of cusp of a potential title challenge. I don't want there to be a narrative that Pogba can be left behind. You know, like the idiots are going to try and push him down and sort of be like, see, we did well, but Pogba was average. I want him to have some of them standout games where you can say, the West Ham game for me is one of them as an example.
Are those punks still around? I thought they died.
What?
Those punks are still around on Twitter.
Bro, those punks, what they are is they're hiding, but they're there, bro. Do you know what I mean? It's like
they've got all the drafts.
Well, look at it is this: Katie Hopkins and Tommy Robertson are not on Twitter anymore, but they're there, bro. Do you know what I mean? They're ready and waiting for the next big bit, the next massive social media thing to come out that they're allowed to have, and you're going to see them. You'll be like, I didn't know you were still around, Gammons, but they'll be there, bro. Gammons are always about, bro. That pinkness doesn't go away. That bit as well. It's there. Do you know what I find about Gammons as well? They always look like 10 years older than they really are. You see a Gammon, right? And you got whatever you look at him, go, oh, mate, look, when's your 50th? What are you talking about, bro? I'm 28 next week, bro. What are you saying, bro? They just always look so old. Hatred is aging, bro. It ages you, don't hate. It's very true, bro. Very, very true. God. You look at, look, Yoda is a prime example. No hatred in him. Man lived to be like 700, 800 years old. Dumbledore, same thing. Hundreds of years old. Do you know what I mean? You can do it. You just got to stop the hate, bruv. You got to stop.
I can't imagine. I come back onto the stream and tell he's making Star Wars references.
Come on, now.
I do, man. It's me. KJ, bruv, call me the Lord of the Juju, and demand 3 pens. Wouldn't you love that, though? Listen, I know we're getting ahead of ourselves. We'll do a big preview in the week building up to it. But wouldn't you love to? I would love to be Liverpool 10-0 at Anfield. Not going to happen though, right? If I were to really pick, if God come out of the sky now and says, "Yo, cheat," and I was like, "Yes, what's that?"
God
I'll be like,
knows,
"Bro,
yeah.
right? Listen, like, you can have one more."
God's definitely black in Terry's mind.
Right, come on.
It just from East London, bruv. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, yo, yes, bruv. I'm like, yes. What you saying? What you saying? What you saying? And he's like, listen, man, listen. He's all. I thought he was all of us. I thought he was built in all of our image. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I read that once. I got told that at school. But he come up to me and he's like, listen, I'll give you a football wish, not to win trophies. It's for one particular game. I said, listen, Anfield. I want Liverpool to be destroying us in every way, shape, or form. But I want Maguire to get blocks in. I want AWB to win every tackle. I want David De Gea to pull off. Like, I want him to make more saves than Jesus, bruv. Do you know what I mean? I want him to do this. I want him to literally do this, right? And then in the 94th minute, Rashford bursts into the box. Amazing 1-2 with ice cold Martial. Greenwood pulls out. It drags up, makes a hole for the defender. Rashford runs through on goal. And then Trent trips him up, and we get a penalty. And then Bruno Fernandes hits it. It's saved. It rolls out, and then Bruno banged in the rebound. That's what I want to happen, right? That's what I want to happen. That would be the most idealistic way to ever win at Anfield, because it just would be all the things.
I would love that.
I
would love that, but I think for me, it's if Rashford could do completely identical what he did to Trent Alexander-Arnold when we beat them 2-1 at Old Trafford, and we did that at Anfield, 1-0.
No, KJ. You know what I need? I think
I
we're on the same page. I need
a
penalty to be retaken. That's
yes,
what I need.
Yes. I need Alisson to save it, and then VAR says he was off his line, and Bruno has another go at it.
Yeah,
that's what I need.
Yeah, that'd be great as well, because they would be like, "No, not fair, not having it. Cheats, mate. He's paying a ref."
Oh, they'll get a petition signed to Parliament to change the VAR rules.
It'd be everything, bruv. They would be outside Bruno's house. They would be livid, bruv. It would be amazing. The super chat here from man like Rome at the fourth official says, last time I was on, I told you, man, we could be top of the league by New Year's. Let's get gas, bruh. I know you did, bro. You also called us out. I'm like, you're all too scared of getting clipped up and memed. It ain't that, bruv, because I say a lot of stuff on. So I actually watched back an old video the other day, and do you know what I said in it? Oh, no. I said, like, it was only a week or two after Van Dijk had signed for Liverpool. I said, look, I'm not worried about the signing because he has a mistake in him every game. But you know what that is, though? But on a real level, you clip that out of context, banter me, it's cool. But when you listen to what I actually said and go back to it, it was me reviewing him at Southampton, and I was being a little bit exaggerating a little bit, but I was being right. There was lots of mistakes in him. I just assumed that they would continue. But this is where you earn your stripes as a football fan on socials. He then went on to be the best centre-back in the world, and I've said pretty much for 2 years he's the best centre-back in the world, and you admit you're wrong in terms of that. But I assessed him based on what I already knew. I changed my mind because he started doing something to a next level. To get what I mean? That's what Neek's argument about Rashford. It's like 2 years ago, remember when Rashford went back-to-back years scoring 12 goals each season? No progression. Year later, it's like 25. Oh, well, it ain't just about goals, it's about his ability. But 2 years ago, this season he's tracking towards 30 goals. Like, it's going to be, and this, do you know what? If he does it this year, it's even better. If he hits 25 to 30 goals this year, do you know why it's even better?
No penalties.
That was the last year. Yeah, but he's on pens, mate. Tammy's better than him. What is it? It said Tammy's better than him, bro. Tammy's better than him. You don't take pens. Do you know what I'm saying? Do you know what I love about that? This time last year, Neeks more so than me, we were getting smoke because we were saying that Rashford's better than Tammy. Now those same Chelsea fans want Tammy out, bro. It's amazing. It's amazing.
I saw someone say Tammy's got more goals than Martial. I was like, guys, the last time you did this was Rashford, and look how that turned out. Please don't do that again.
I know, it's crazy. It's literally like Tammy is turning into Iheanacho 2.0, bro. Just don't compare. You know what? Comparing a player to Rashford in the Premier League has the same impact as Drake wearing your shirt, or having a picture with Drake, or saying Ollie at the wheel. Like, you know, every club that...
Or Aaron Ramsey scoring a goal.
Yeah, all these things. Oh, yeah, that's a real bad one. That is, Jesus Christ. It's like all these things, you don't want it. Don't compare your player to Rashford because it ends their careers. It really does.
Where is Iwobi now? That's the question. Where is Iwobi
now, fam? Like, man...
what about Martinelli? That's another one.
No, that's Greenwood. That's a new battle. That's a new battle going on.
That's Greenwood battle. Yeah, that's Martinelli, Greenwood, Saka.
They're going to lose that battle as well. They'll lose that battle as well.
He's a good player.
There's a comment here that says Tammy is 6'4" and he can't header. Yeah,
Man's forehead. His forehead is made for heading the ball, and he still can't head the ball, bruv. Like his hair has a literally. It's like his hair goes back.
Imagine trying to fall on your sword for Tammy of all people.
I know.
That is not the hill to die on.
What happened? It's like I called out the Liverpool fans yesterday. I'm not sure if any of you, none of you were on it. By the way, the biggest ever show last night for the not in terms of just numbers, but the donations and the banter we had picking the team of 2020, because we did it different, because obviously there wasn't the categories, it was just for the positions. It was like players, you bid players. So if someone put £5 into Bruno to get him out the team, you'd either have to, you could pay for someone else, but if you wanted Bruno out, you had to pay £5 to get him out. But we got to a point where people put so much money in Bruno's pot to keep him in team of the year. It was £265 to get him taken out. Like, they went mad for him. And then it was Martinelli versus Greenwood. Someone put £5 to put Greenwood in. Someone said, no, there's £10 for Martinelli. So that makes Martinelli £5 plus, because £5 to get rid of him. And then some dude straight away was like, nah, there's £50 for Greenwood. And another dude like Man United fans had him. Like, it was a great show. But one thing I pulled on in that, and I stand by it.
Who got young player of the year in the end?
Greenwood.
Okay.
Yeah, the fans had his back on that. Is I think I've hit the nail on the head when it comes to Liverpool fans and why they big up Henderson so much. Because what's his name? Ram done himself in proper, because Ram the day before was arguing for him to be player of the year. This time around, he wasn't even arguing to get him into the team of the year. I'm like, you see, when you're not thinking about Henderson, when he's not thrust in front of you, you never consider him. I said, I know what you're all trying to do. Liverpool fans are trying to elevate how good Henderson is and how important he is, so that at some point in the future, they can fight and argue that he should be the greatest or one of the greatest captains of all time in the Premier League. They're trying to put him onto the Roy Keane, Patrick Vieira, John Terry level. That's where they're trying to fit him. And it's like none of them really believe he's as good as they say. Because you know for a fact, if they'd sell 10 other, they'd sell him before about at least 10 other players at that club. And that's what I love about agendas, especially the positive ones from fans. But there we go. Listen, everyone who's tuned in, we've done our score predictions tonight. Hit the like and share button. Kickoff is in 10 minutes time. We're live back here on the Football Terrace straight after the game. Thank you, by the way, to Jenny Logan for upgrading your membership from, I'm not sure from what, but you upgraded it to a first team member. That means a great deal. We have
there was a comment from the normal one. It says Zayn could have picked the 2020 team himself.
You know what? I haven't done all the numbers because there have been so many, but Zayn didn't even come in the top 15 Super Chat contributors in December 2020 from Football Terrace. You know, like it's been our viewers have been so generous and so amazing. It's been unbelievable. Z here says, "Big up the guys. Let's go for a win today. Happy New Year, Z. We got to get you on more, bro. We used to do those morning shows. It was you, and there was the other gentleman with a fantastic beard. I forget his name now. He was East London boy. You boys were coming on regs and." No, I've been getting up early during Christmas. From next week, I'm back on the early shows again. Listen, until next time, everyone, take care of yourselves. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you all again very, very soon.